From the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker, we're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
Hi, everyone. It is Tuesday, and we have some breaking news. I wish I had a breaking news type jingle, but I do not. But before we get into that, I'm going to bring on my co-host of the day. Maybe I won't because he's on the damn phone. Rich, get off the phone. All right, Robert, she's on the phone. I will go ahead and say that we are sponsored by Test. Test is a cryptocurrency focused on the firearms market.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And you can always support me at johncrump.locals.com, or you can support Rich at flyingrich.locals.com, and I'm going to bring him on right now. This is Rich.
Hey, how's it going? Everything's up. Everything is wonderful.
Everything is wonderful.
So I was just talking to Dark. The official story is he's at 29.97. So we need 3 subs to get him to 3K.
DLD After Dark, go ahead and sub to him, and let me bring
3 subs to get Dark to 3K.
And Mr. Big Kid. Hi, Mr. Big Kid. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
Bad news. This is the breaking news too.
Uh-oh.
But this is bad. But before we do that,
damn you. Damn.
We are doing a toy drive, and I keep on forgetting to do it, and I'm trying to find the list here. But we are doing a toy drive and basically in honor of my niece Bella. It's called Bella's Wish. I am going to drop it in the chat. So if anybody wants to buy a toy, here are some toys that will go automatically right to my sister-in-law. And for Bella's Wish, everything will be going to the Ronald McDonald House, which was very, very instrumental in her final days. So there it is. Bella's Wish. All right, with that, you ready for the breaking news now?
Dun, dun, dun.
But before we do that, just to remind everyone, you can go to blackswantactical.com. Okay, here it is. John Cornyn and Chris Murphy have completed their draft of their new anti-gun legislation.
Is there still a chance there's a tar and feather drive-through available that we could get them to?
I don't know, but we should know exactly what it's in it tomorrow. It's been sent to the drafting office to be released. So there you
go. I have no G-rated thoughts to share, so...
Yep. Mr. Big Kid, what do you think of that?
Well, I guess we'll see what they got, but man, some weird times, that's for sure.
No joke, it is definitely weird times.
Yep.
And congratulations to Dark in the future.
Close.
But yeah, I know what it's going to be in there. It's going to be red flag laws and maybe a watered down universal background check, but definitely some type of red flag legislation.
See, more than anything, not that I'm for anything, and maybe I'm saying this in the wrong context. Any kind of universal background check requires a registry. And it was just so much fun that when somebody actually, was it Real Cujo or Fiddy Actual, post on IG that it's Justin Trudeau, or what is it? Who was his dad? Fidel Castro Jr.? Fidel Castro Jr. over in Canada said that registering your guns will not lead to a confiscation. That will never happen. It will never happen that we're going to confiscate your guns.
And yeah, how did that work out for them?
Every time there's been a gun registration, the next thing that happens is they confiscate them because they know where to go.
Shout out to channel member ADXR920, and also I see Frag Out Designs on there. Dude, you gotta do a design for me, man. The dude does some scroll work on firearms.
Oh yeah, that's crazy, beautiful stuff.
Insane.
Yes.
Insane. I mean, just absolutely insane.
I'll have to check them out.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, just beautiful stuff. So in ADXR is like channel member of everybody, like all of the Black Swan Media family. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So let's get into some stuff with Mr. Big Kid here. Tell us.
We don't want to talk depressing gun control news any further.
No. Tell us about yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Steve.
Oh, hold on.
Whoa, that's cool.
All three of them.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. And it should be better now.
No, you're good. Well, hey guys, my name's Steve. I'm with the Mr. Big Kid channel on YouTube. You'll notice that I am not in a studio. I'm inside a 31-foot travel trailer that I've been living in for 2 months now, with a wife, a dog, and a son. So, I'll be doing an announcement on that stuff later. I'll explain a little bit. I'm in temporary situation right now. We're having a house built, so we moved into a travel trailer to watch that house get built. Things have kind of taken a turn, so there's some big stuff coming to the channel right now. I'm not going to make any big announcements right here, but yeah, interesting. Anyways, so I do gun reviews, accessory reviews. I play with guns, try to do experiments and all that stuff. So promoting the 2A in a safe fashion, I guess, responsible fashion.
You mean you haven't been exploding 50 caliber firearms?
No, I got my 50. Paid way too much to do any kind of like damage.
What 50 do you have?
I have a Barrett M82A1.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Serious.
Oh yeah, you can check my Instagram. It's the one that says Albondigas on the side. So I named her Albondigas.
Why?
It's an exotic name. It also means meatballs in Spanish. So I just figure it's a
okay.
It works.
Does it blow lungs out? I'm just curious.
No, it's not 9mm, so it's not
9mm. Okay.
Yeah. I actually took a picture. I was over at True Shot Gun Club today, and I let them borrow my 50 cal. So I went there to pick it up today, and they were taking pictures of it inside their gigantic crate of 50 BMG. I don't know how many thousands of rounds are inside there, but there's a stack of 9mm next to me. So I just took one out and shoved it inside the magazine with the 50 cal. And I'm like, yeah, that's the one that'll blow a lung out for sure. No doubt.
So I picked up a bolt action 50 cal from Safety Harbor Firearm.
Nice.
So haven't shot it yet, but
that's
trying to get an optic for it.
Oh, that's the first 50 cal I've ever fired, or a 50 BMG I've ever fired was a Safety Harbor.
Oh, so, cool. Where was that?
I was in the desert doing filming. It's actually right when my channel first started. I was out filming with a friend, and this guy came out. He's like, "Hey, do you mind if I shoot here? You can shoot over there, because I need a little bit of range." So sure enough, he pulls out this big 50 cal, and that's the first one I've ever seen. So he let me take a shot with it, and then a year later, I bought my own.
Oh, cool.
You got a new subscriber there, Mr. Big Kid.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that they say about guns, I just don't think they have an understanding. Like Maxine Waters and the live stream, she said, you wouldn't shoot a deer with an AR-15. There'd be nothing left of it. It's like you're not allowed to shoot deers with AR-15s because it's not a big enough round.
It's not
puny.
lethal enough.
It's not lethal enough, you idiot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it's just the disinformation is what drives me absolutely bonkers. And you have the same people preaching it, writing signs. I was over at the NRA convention this.
Well, you can't
past
own a
weekend.
cannon.
What's that?
Can't own a cannon.
Oh, sure. Hey, Weston, how's it going? Yeah, and I mean, it's just, first of all, protesters, man, they are mean. This stuff they were yelling across the street. Yeah,
F them.
I know.
I mean, I'd go kick
yeah.
them all in the balls if I had my way. But it's just me.
So you guys are familiar with the We Like Shooting fellas out there?
We are on the the Firearms Radio Network that is
Awesome.
owned by We Like Shooting. So yes, we are familiar with We Like Shooting. I keep on forgetting to shout out the Firearms Radio Network, but you can check us out at the Firearms Radio Network.
There you go. Yeah, man, Nick, he went to Brownells, grabbed a sign with a Sharpie, and I forget, I think he something like all gun laws are an infringement, something like that on the sign, rolled up the piece of cardboard and walked over to the protest crowd. And then he just started standing in front of cameras, holding up his sign, and nobody that was protesting realized what he wrote. So they're all just he's just part of the crowd. And apparently he started showing the sign to people and they started getting pretty angry with him. So he left.
Yeah, I think that's kind of funny.
Brandon Herrera went over there.
Yes,
and,
I saw that video too. That was awesome.
They should have background checks. You can't just go in a gun store and buy a gun. It's like,
Oh yeah. Just the fact that he's like, I want to defund the NRA, and do you guys want to sign a petition to for the Firearms Policy Coalition? These guys at least are going to do some real gun laws and rules and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, I'll sign that. So you have these guys signing FPC.
Freaking idiots.
I love it though.
But it's amazing to me that what little people know about things. And I don't want to sound like Joe Scientist. I got a 2-year degree from a community college. But like a nuclear reactor, everybody loses their freaking mind. It's like the water boils, turns a turbine. You just keep the nuclear stuff away from other stuff. That's it. That's just how it all works. Nuclear reactors 101. We're done. And people don't know a damn thing about guns, and then they lose their minds over it. Right. It's you can get a salad easier than you can get a gun. You can get a textbook. It's no, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. It's easier to get a gun than a textbook. It's easier to get a gun than a salad. It's like, show me that place.
The same stuff. Yeah, they'll just keep regurgitating the same stuff.
And the cannon thing. So
the cannon thing was hilarious.
It's 4 times now.
Even Newsweek pointed out that, hey, he's wrong about this. We're not really sure why, but he keeps on repeating it. And this is Newsweek, which is very, very liberal. I know I was muted. I was recording something really quick to beat everyone else. Since I just announced it here. Just did a really quick short. But yeah, the cannon thing is hilarious.
Yeah, but the cannon thing bothers me because, like, if I did a video, in fact, all right, I'll tell you what, I've done videos where I've said something maybe not quite correct, and 2A EDU and Crumpy were like, hey, you need to change that or take that video down. I take it down right now and then make the change. I'm like, ooh, I said that wrong.
That's happened.
It's happened.
I'm not going to say what it's about, but
yeah, but somebody's like, hey, yeah, you said that wrong. You need to take that video down. Like, nobody. So do they have zero examples of how the Second Amendment is an absolute. So they just keep saying the lie that you couldn't have cannons. I'm like, no, you could have cannons. Those were the privateer ships. In fact, George Washington signed a letter saying, damn right, you can have a cannon. It's crazy. All right, 280U's laughing. He knows what it was. So it's
Yeah, he
amazing
called me
to me.
like, you might want to talk to Rich. I was like, why? He goes, he said this in his video. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He called something that's it's not.
Yes, and I now have a dog, so I am afraid for it.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where we're like, well, we need to get that down as quick as possible.
Yep.
Warships is a thing. We need to have warships. You needed cannons. Yep.
Yes, yeah. For a warship, you need a cannon, and there were privateers, and they were like, "Hey, GW, do I need anything? Can I have cannons?" I'm like, "Damn right, you can have a cannon."
Heck yeah.
And so, which it's like, it seems to me that it's beyond question that they're intentionally saying this wrong because they don't have another, Second Amendment's not absolute. You can't have nukes. You need F-15s and nukes, right? Or my other favorite, I saw this on Instagram, I don't know, 2 days ago. Like, well, what about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment? All the slavery and stuff like that. And maybe that's not absolute. Maybe you can have slaves. Well, I think that's what that is, but maybe they are right. Anyhow, I'm going to stop talking, Steve.
Some of those congressmen might actually have them.
That's called a GIMP.
No, you know what? Mike Bloomberg has a slave. It's called, his name is Biden.
That's more like a cuck, I think. All right, now that are we monetized? Are we still monetized?
Who knows?
Just keep poking.
So somebody said to me in person, he's like, "Yeah, you really poke the ATF." I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm like, "Oh gosh." Like,
I do.
Maybe I do too much.
Hey man, you hang out with me, you're targeted.
Is that it? But I don't have the robot dog like you do with the 20mm cannon on it.
No, I hang out at dark, so I'm targeted. So then you hang out with me, so then you're targeted.
Oh, in when are you, Crumpy? I should ask you this off the air, but can you tell me when you're getting together with Mr. Wilk and Jay the Shooter?
July.
Okay, I need to talk to you about that because I think I know how I can be there.
Oh, that works.
Mm-hmm.
Jay the Shooter and Mr. Wilk, Mr. Big Kid?
No, I don't think so. I've heard of Jay the Shooter.
Well,
the name at least.
They're the guys that did the fully auto
Deagle.
Desert Eagle.
Okay, gotcha.
And then they did a full auto FN57.
That's probably fun to shoot. The Desert Eagle. 7 rounds go pretty quick in that thing on semi-auto.
Yeah, they live very close to me, so
that's awesome.
And also dark, so we're gonna get together and do like a big collaboration.
Me.
Oh, here you go. What is the coolest? Thank you, Clover Attack, for the question. What is the coolest thing that you saw at Anbram?
And you can't say Clover Attack.
I was literally gonna say that. Come on, now I got to think hard again. Well, I don't know. So NRAM was interesting. I'm not going to go politician and beat around the bush. I'll come up with an actual defined answer when I think about it. But it was my first time there, so it was kind of cool. It was cool. I got to go there as media. I'm not sure if there's any perks or benefits about that, but coolest thing I saw there, man. I'm gonna have to circle back to you on that one and think about it, because I don't know.
All right, while you think about it, I'm going to answer. One Car Fast says BWE Firearms pokes the AFT. I'm like, no, he body slams them.
He just
That's
tells
no
them that he
poke.
doesn't care.
There's no poke. Have you seen BW Firearms?
Like,
I've
Yes.
seen him on
On
yes,
Hank's channel?
I have.
yeah,
I've seen him.
he has stage 4 cancer, so he has 0 Fs to give.
Oh, he had 0
Yeah.
Fs before. He was
Yeah,
all out.
now he really has 0 Fs.
He's like, send that agent back and you'll get him in a body bag. They're like, you don't mean that? He's like, hell yeah, I mean.
Clover Tech is calling you Jin Saki.
That's.
Me?
I'm glad you
Or-
picked up what I was
Ooh.
throwing down there.
You're going to
That's
circle
exactly
back?
what
Yeah.
I did. I'll circle back to that.
Wait. Can I ask a question, a political question? The new press secretary, will she last longer than CNN Plus?
She's
No, I
pretty
think
bad.
she will. I mean, CNN Plus was like a mitigated disaster. I mean, they spent like $500 million on that, and like it was gone like in 30 days. They spent $500 million, $500 million, and they had 5,000 subscribers.
They could have paid him what, 10,000 apiece? What was that?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Do you want to sub my channel? I'll pay you 10 grand. 10 grand. Here you go.
But 5,000 subscribers for $500,000. Wow.
Hey, you know what? They love their audience, so it was worth it. And it's too soon to tell if it was a failure.
I would have sold on my channel with 27,000 subs for $500 million.
They would
I would have walked away and see you guys.
it would have been a better deal for them.
I know. I would have done it for 50 million.
You know, so I'm looking at like a website that's just pointing things out because I'm trying to think. I'm digging in the back of my head. What was the coolest thing I saw at NRAM? I was there for 3 days, so I'm like, something's got to stand out. And I honestly, even looking at this website, I'm like, there's still nothing really wowed me.
Nothing.
I mean,
jumped
there's
out, nothing like, wow, that's really innovative or anything like that.
Not really. I think Holosun had some pretty cool optics. They had a really low profile green dot, red dot coming out, or it's out. I don't know exactly. So I'm chatting with them right now because I want to play with it. Viridian stuff is there. They have, again, the green dots too, but I've already been playing with those, so it's not really a new product announcement for me. I don't know. Nothing really stands out. It's kind of a disappointing answer, but
Hey, man, if that's the answer, that's the answer.
yeah. How about you, Clover? Anything that's like nutty cool? You know, I will say the Live Free Armory, that handgun's pretty slick. I forget what that model's called. It's their new full handgun.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
POF, yeah, they do have their, what's that, their Phoenix. I think the POF has the Phoenix PCCs coming out. But again, I've already been playing with that one from because they're out of Arizona. So.
Yeah, I have a good friend that owns a company in Arizona.
What's that?
I got a good friend that owns a company in Arizona. Do you know X-Tech?
I've definitely heard of X-Tech. Oh, what do they do?
They make mags.
Yes. Okay.
Like high-end AK mags, and they make regular lower end stuff.
Don't they do drums also?
They do a bunch of different things. But yeah, they're a really cool company.
Yeah.
They have some really cool stuff coming out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with that, Clover. When I go to these events, I'm really focused on building relationships and meeting people and kind of networking. So I don't have the same focus on the actual products. I really didn't fondle a whole lot of firearms when I was there. You know,
well, you could have brought Dark with you because he would have done that for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So nothing that you looked at and you're like, man, I got to pick this up. I got to buy one.
Ugh.
I mean, that's a little bit different question.
Yeah. So something that I'd want to buy from there. Well, I did that Lift Free Armory. Looks like Jose said the amp. That thing was pretty cool. I'd like to play with that. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I like EAA, the stuff that they had there. That's actually where I saw Clover at too. Some of the stuff they were importing, they had some pretty slick looking over unders that seemed like they were a pretty good price. And I'm trying to get a little more outdoorsy on the channel. So I've been a little more fuddy on some things.
Yeah, EAA makes some really cool stuff. I actually have a couple of Vindicators, even though a lot of people call them Windicators, but it's a German, and they didn't change the spelling from German to English.
Vindicator. Yeah.
So it's Vindicator, but I don't know. I don't know why they didn't change the name from German to English, but
Yeah.
now everyone calls it the wrong thing. But I have a couple of those, and those are actually really great guns.
Yeah. There's a Witness P carrier I did a video on not too long ago. It's a 10 millimeter. The problem is the recoil spring that came with it, I guess, is the same recoil spring for a 9 millimeter. This is just based off of information I've heard on forums.
I've heard the same thing.
The ejection on these things, it's like 30 feet horizontal for a 10 mil. The problem is it's every 9-10 rounds or so, things just jamming up. You're getting a stovepipe, and I cannot figure that out. So we got a whole bunch of springs we ordered. We're going to test it out and see if we can get that thing to run reliably, but it has a really low bore axis, so the recoil for a 10 mil is really comfy.
Cool.
10 mil is one of my favorite calibers.
I was gonna say I'm another 10 mil fan. Why? I still haven't finished my 10 mil P80. I have no idea why. Well, again, I was out for a week, so yeah.
I mean, I don't like 40, but I do like 10.
That's kind of like what
40 is just 10 short.
10 short. Yeah, I mean, 10's cool. It's powerful. You got good capacity. But
Dark.
Oh yeah.
Dark just hit 10. I'm sorry, 10K. 3K.
Nice.
So for those that don't know, the curse of the 3K, I had a lot of trouble passing 3K subs. And after 3K, it seemed super easy to get another K. But Dark, I think sometime in February, had, Mr. Snow print a 3K plaque, and it was beautiful.
That's what jinxed them.
That's what jinxed him. That was the curse of the 3K. So Dark subs were going like that, and when he did the whole plaque thing, and I'm
put
like,
it up on his wall.
He's like 2 weeks premature. He's 2 weeks premature. I'm like, I don't know if I do that. And like, so my big recent milestone was 5K, and I didn't celebrate it because it just, like, I did a couple of shorts, and all of a sudden overnight I had like 1,000 more subs. Like, this is fishy. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do a victory lap for a while. And so time passed and it's still there. But yeah, Dark's been at like 2,900 for 7 months.
So when this show started, I subbed to you on my main channel, and then just now, once you made the announcement, I subbed to you on the barbecue channel just to launch you over that 300.
Okay,
Oh, that's right.
Wait, you have a barbecue channel?
I do.
How did I not know about that?
Oh, I don't know. Everybody knows. Well, 700 people know. That one's hard to grow, and it's hard for me to put focus on. I'll go back to my little channel history again. So Mr. Big Kid started out several years ago just as a fun channel. So I did like RC cars, I did barbecuing, just things I like doing. And then the gun stuff, I love shooting a lot too. So the gun stuff started taking off a lot. And then I figured it's best to start segregating my content. It got to the point where I'll post a barbecue video and not all the gun guys want to see a barbecue video, and then vice versa. A lot of the barbecue guys don't want to see gun videos. So
really?
Yeah. And then I decided to make a barbecue channel. I used to call it HOQ. Then I called it Mr. Big Kid Barbecue, and I'm going to rename it one more time, I think, to MBK Life, which is just going to be my alternate channel just for all like the stuff that
so kind of like off
do.
the ranch.
You're right. Yeah. Well, there's so many more things I want to like do content on, but I just can't post it on my main channel anymore. If it's not gun
Gotcha.
related, it's not going to get attention, and it's just not
Mhm.
part of it. So if I can still have that ability to do like a cool vlog video or a good barbecue cook, I could dump it into the MBK Life channel.
You know what? We should hook Mr. Big Head up with Mikey.
Smoke Bros.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Stuff is
thinking.
awesome. We have a guy that comes on here a lot. He's a great guy, and they're called Smoke Bros. And basically, what they are, the company is a bunch of special forces operators that got together, and they used to make their own like rubs and everything while they were overseas, deployed and stuff. All you can do when you're downtown is work out and barbecue.
Nice.
So they made up all their own formulas, all their own mixtures. So when they came back and they all got out of the military, they're like, "Oh, what do we do now?" And they're like, "Well, we have all this stuff that we used to make. Let's start a barbecue company."
Heck yeah.
So
That's awesome.
They started a barbecue company, and their stuff. I use their stuff a lot because I love barbecuing. I mean, and their
And-
stuff is awesome.
Yeah. Where were they based out of when they started? Overseas, right? Where?
Well, they used to do deployments. They're all like, special forces guys.
Okay, so we don't know necessarily where.
Where Afghanistan, Iraq,
ground up camel spider fur, stuff like that.
yeah. Talk about Safety Harbor Firearms we were talking earlier.
Oh, there you go.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
I saw your comment there, Clover. Yes, we need to do another Pass the Mag. That was a good time.
How'd you come up with that?
I didn't come up with it. So CMMG, they did a Pass the Mag. It was like a bunch of YouTube gun channels. You can check all of our channels. I think I have it posted. Clover Tech has it posted too.
Yeah, I remember that.
We did just a continuation of it because at the end of their video said, "Now it's your turn." So I don't know. We had like 20 people that participated, I think.
Pick me.
What's that?
Pick me.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
time.
No, that's the thing. It's like at the time I didn't know a whole lot of people. So everybody that was invited ended up inviting other channels that wanted to do it too. So we ended up starting a Facebook group for it, and everybody submitted all their clips to me. And then that was a fun time putting all that together, trying to pair up, people pulling mags down from the ceiling, from the left, from the right, getting it tossed to them. So yeah, it's a fun time though.
I'll go to that barbecue, but I'm not going to eat.
Yeah.
For those of you audio only, BWE Richard Hoffman said, "Can we barbecue all the politicians?" I'll bring firewood.
I just subscribed to Mr. Big Kid BBQ.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, dude, I'm huge into barbecuing.
Nice.
It's how I relieve stress a lot.
Yep. It's a good time, man. I mean, it's funny because people are like, "Dude, you must eat a lot of barbecue," and I'm like, "Not really," because you're out there smoking that barbecue, and yeah, I'm getting hungry when I'm smoking it and stuff. But if I smoke a brisket and it takes 15, 16 hours of smoking, I don't really feel like smoked food anymore after like opening that grill so many times.
Exactly. but the whole thing is actually doing it. It's like,
yep, nailing a barbecue and knowing it tastes good, and then you vacuum seal it. So you use the vacuum sealer. You can freeze it, put it in the fridge, whatever, and then to cook it, to reheat it, you take the entire vacuum sealed bag and put it in boiling water, and that's the absolute best way to reheat barbecue. Because you're just basically just warming it up. You're basically sous videing your barbecue.
I was going to say I barbecue, but it's with a sous vide. But...
Right. Well, yeah, you're basically sous videing it. So like all those flavors are vacuum sealed together. So if you put it in the oven, it's going to dry it out. If you microwave it, it's going to turn it to rubber. So,
I probably got to get a vacuum sealer. I like what you're talking about. That's cool.
Yep. So that's the thing is the barbecue, at least to me, tastes just as fresh as when you pulled it off the smoker and let it sit for a couple hours. Yeah, opening it from a fresh boiled bag, dude, it's amazing. So good.
Yeah. That is really. I haven't tried that, heating it up that way, but
yep.
I mean, I'm thinking I probably should. try that. But no, I just like barbecuing because I like I'll put my earbuds in and then I'll just go sit out there and just decompress because I've been working a lot, like pounding sources and stuff like that, which is, like sometimes I would go and these guys don't want to meet like during the day, so they want to meet in the middle of the night, which is kind of sketchy, but when they hand over stuff.
Barbecue's a good way to turn it off, just kind of focus on what you're doing. It's a lot like shooting for me, to be honest. Hold on one second.
Hi, Mr. HPS.
He was the first viewer commenting today.
What I was saying is a lot like shooting. It's very de-stressing to go out there and shoot. It's gotten kind of hard because I feel like now every time I shoot, I make sure I'm in front of a camera, I'm in focus and stuff like that. So I try not to go shooting when I'm not filming because every opportunity is an opportunity to get content. But sometimes just turning the camera off and doing a range day with friends and just enjoying yourself, it's really fun.
Well, I was gonna do something. I like to do a series when I go over some of my firearms and shooting, but I'm kind of conflicted by it because I'm like, that's like my moment of zen.
Well, John, is it true that there's going to be a Black Swan Media meetup at the beach house, and you're going to take us out on the Black Swan Media submarine, and we're going to float a couple of targets and shoot at them?
Somebody keeps on saying that, but no.
Huh?
No. The whole Black Swan Media stuff got started because people kept on bugging me to start it. So
maybe we'll have success with this also.
No. Nope. You got to get by my wife. Not everyone's coming to my beach house.
I was going to say we didn't invite your wife.
Yeah, no.
All right. I think Ron Bear is asking, has Mr. Big Kid done a 3D build?
We do a lot of 3D building on this channel.
That's awesome. I would love to get a 3D printer. The only thing I've ever 3D printed was a little mini dinosaur that was like a preset file on the printer. My wife's a teacher at school.
Oh, cool.
She's a media teacher, so she has some really nice 3D printers there that she didn't know how to use. So she was doing I don't remember what she was doing, but she had to work late that night. So I was in her classroom, no other kids there, and I'm just like playing with it, and I'm just making them print random things. Zero edit on my part. I literally just go to whatever the last thing that was printed and tell it to print it again.
Gotcha.
Actually, I think the Micro Center deal ended on May 7th. I'm not sure if they still.
Yeah. So Micro Center was running a deal on Ender 3s, which are normally in the $200 range, and they had them for like $100 if you signed up for their mailing list.
Wow, really? Okay.
Well, they're usually in the $250 range, and they had them for $50 off. Then, Ron Wayne, we are working on a new patch. I have the design. I just got to get it to Zach and.
I got like 3 or 4 new patches I'm going to be coming out with.
Yeah,
Did I see you guys over at SHOT Show?
I was at SHOT.
I had COVID.
Crumpy stood me up. He had a lame excuse.
Before.
Yeah, I got Rich into SHOT Show. Like, he decided to go to SHOT Show like 2 days before SHOT Show, and was like, "Can you pull some strings to get me in?" I'm like, "Let me email a guy I know over there."
Yep.
So my contact.
You mean an ex-friend? An ex-friend.
Yeah. My contact.
Blocked your number.
My contact over at NSSF got him in there. Yeah.
Nice. I was about to say, because I've been trying to give some of my patches to some fellow guys. I don't know if I gave you guys one yet.
I do not have one.
It's a little dinosaur, Mr. Big Kid Jurassic Park patch.
Oh no, I didn't get that. That sounds cool.
All right, I'll have to send one to you guys.
I'll send you a squadron patch.
Yes.
Because actually, you were there when the squadron originated.
Where was it? Was that Iraq Vet?
Yep. The spring Iraq Vet.
Yeah,
I remember Hank calling you guys a squadron, and I'm like, what's the squadron you speak of?
Well, here's the thing. We're all supposed to meet up where Hank was staying. So,
oh gosh.
Oh, Hank's there, and I get there, and Hank's like, "Where the hell is Rich and the guys?" And I was like, "I have no idea. They're supposed to be here." Then Hank asked Mike, who's also known as Mr. Gunsinger, and he's like, I don't know. I let them in, and I went upstairs, and I came back downstairs, and they were all gone. And we're like, what the hell?
So we decided, I think this is the same event, but I remember I saw you. That's the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
John you might have been there too, Rich. I don't remember,
Yep.
but yeah, you guys came in after we all got back. It was Tactical Toolbox, myself.
Yeah.
I think the Black Diamond guys were there too, I believe.
Mhm.
And yeah, we just stopped by, like on the way back from the range. We just stopped by some diner to get some food, and then we came home. But I guess Mike was like sending people off.
So
No, Mike
Yeah,
said
alright.
Mike said he went upstairs and came back downstairs, and they were all gone. They
all
just,
right, all right.
left.
So it's you know where the house is. It was in the middle of nowhere. It's the middle of the woods. It's like a dirt road. There's no lights.
Barely.
But
any
I'm
reception.
rolling up on it. It's like, oh, there's Hank's van. I'm like, so this must be the right place. So I'm all excited. I knock on the door, and then Mike comes to the door. He's like, hi. And I realize I blew the opportunity. I am so smart. Weeks later, I should have said, can I get an autograph?
Oh, yeah.
That would have been the. It's like, hey man, love you, child. Can I get an autograph?
Hey, I followed you home.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna get an autograph, but first let me go grab my GPS tracker off your car.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, John, you should be a writer. You're good. So, so he's like, I'm like, hey, Hank told me come here. He's like, well, come on in. And then he turns around and walks upstairs. And I'm like, so there's an empty house. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not cool if I'm just hanging out here, So we just sat on the porch. There are like 8 of us,
Yep.
And so we're just kind of hanging out. Then Mr. Gunsgear comes on down again. He's like, well, they're all over at this address. I'm like, I don't know if I'm like, I wasn't invited. I said that to his face. And he's like, well, that's where everybody is. And then turns around and goes away. And I'm like, everybody's like, I get blamed for making the decision, but everybody's like, all right, let's go there. And we bought, drinks and mixers and stuff like that. So we went there, and of course we gave them all that stuff. And then a couple of minutes after I get there, Hank's like, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the other party. And I gave up. I'm like, now do I say, all right, guys, see you later? Because I drove some people. It wasn't just me. And, So.
Yeah, I'm so bad at organizing and trying to meet up with people. And that's usually because I'm not the rental car. I'm not on the rental lease. So I just go wherever my party is going. So that was kind of a frustrating spot at the NRA. I was hanging out with True Shot, and we like shooting, but I was trying to meet up with some of my friends too, and it just didn't really work out.
So
stuff going on
at SHOT Show, I kind of Walter Keller from Safety Harbor Firearms said he adopted me. So yeah, I was hanging out with them. I had dinner with them every night, and hung out at the booth, used that kind of as a base. I did well. You're lucky. You're out there. I kind of used their booth as my command post and kept stuff there and stuff like that. But I never adjusted to the time zone. So at 4 a.m., I'm up laying in bed, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So it was I was a zombie. I wasn't real good.
We were also up till 4 a.m., but that's just because we haven't gone to sleep yet. So,
you hanging out at the Circle Bar?
Dude, a lot of Circle Bar, but then I was working with Mike Mills pretty much the entire time at SHOT Show. So that's Tactical Considerations. And he was setting up meetings. He was hustling that show. So he's like, hey, if you want to come with me, you're invited. I'm like, all right. So, I mean, every single meeting that he set up, I was just tagging along. I'm like, I didn't make any plans. I was just going to hang out and walk around like I did at NRA.
Yeah, Crump said he was going to do that for me, and then just ditches me.
Right.
Yeah. At SHOT, I mean, I didn't really get that sick. The morning of, my wife and kids are all sick, and so I have the Uber's out in front of the house, they're coughing sick. I'm like, I'm not gonna go.
Just not working out.
Yeah.
And then
so
John got sick later that day.
Yeah, I got sick later that day. So I'm like, dude, if I would have went, I would have been stuck in a hotel at the Venetian, which is a nice hotel, but it's only nice because you're right there. And if you're stuck in a room, then it's not so nice.
What's the point? Yeah.
So I stayed home. It was for the best. Then Rich got to go anyway because he was my cameraman. That's what I told. I told Larry Keene that, and I was like, yeah, I need to get him in. He's my cameraman.
Yeah,
Larry
next
King
year I
knew.
guess I'm going to have to go as part of Safety Harbor Firearms because I know you're not going to be invited back.
I'll be invited back, dude. I kind of released the NSSF position on red flag laws, but they're telling Congress, and then then they admitted it because I was going to release it anyway, and I don't think they really wanted it out there.
Busted.
Well, what can you do, right?
That's what you do.
So
That's what you
there's
found out.
and I think in life there's things you do because it's the right thing, and then there's things you do. It's like, like even me as a YouTuber, I'm like, and again with as little subs as I have and as little audience as I have, you're like, yeah, that looked really bad if it came out I did fill in the blank. If it became public, or because it's like GunTuber found blah blah blah. It's like.
I agree with that completely. You have to be so careful, and to be honest, honesty is the best policy. Because if you play by the rules, then you don't have to worry about getting called out in the future.
Yes.
I can only imagine being in some of these situations where people will do that. I forget who it was, but that YouTuber that reviewed that Hellion when it came out, and I don't remember who it was, but then he just caught in a lie. You know what I mean? He tried to resell it, and he said he fired 500 rounds through it, and then in his ad he said he only put like 100 rounds through it, something like that. So
yeah, I mean, people get caught, and I'm just they admitted it, so that's a good thing. But I did reach out to let's see, they are officially neutral now. They went from supporting to neutral, so maybe I did some good.
Maybe you did some good.
I can tell you right now, I'm going to list the groups that are for it. All right, I'm going to list those groups right now. All right, I'm done listing those groups that are for it.
As in 0.
Yeah, neutral.
So, yeah,
the leftists, like the anti-gun people, are claiming that everyone's split on it. So that's what kind of
people want red flag laws.
They were talking about. They were saying that the gun advocacy world is split on red flag laws. So NSSF is neutral. And I'm bringing up my list right now.
And everybody else says go F yourself.
But I'm going to list. But I talked to these are the groups I talked to, and this is what they told me. So NSSF is neutral. Gun Owners of America is strongly against red flag laws, and they said so-called red flag laws are gun confiscation laws, and there's no amount of due process that can reconcile them with the Constitution. That's from Aiden Johnston. GOA opposes all red flag laws, no matter what fake due process is included. Firearms Policy Coalition said Firearms Policy Coalition has always opposed so-called red flag laws, sometimes characterized as extreme risk protection orders or gun violence restraining orders. On practical policy and constitutional grounds, Second Amendment Foundation says we all want to keep any type of weapons out of the hands of anyone who is a danger to themselves and others, but so-called red flag laws do not afford due process protections that are critical to protect fundamental enumerated constitutional rights. 2AO says we already have legal tools to address situations involving people. Blah blah blah.
Probably a very good statement. The Second Amendment Foundation statement could be, you could get that sound bite.
Yeah.
And say, see, look at them.
Yeah. And then so 2 AOs against it. Hold My Guns, they came out against it, and they quoted John Adams, saying we are cattle without rights. National Association of Gun Rights, they're against it, and yes, they did give me a quote, people. And NRA said they will fight any attempt to pass red flag laws. And FRAC, which is like a competitor to NSSF now, says that their core mission is to fight back against the ATF's long history of regulatory abuse. As such, FRAC would be staunchly opposed to any bill that gives the government additional authority to unilaterally dictate terms to lawful gun owners without due process. That's from Travis White, who's the CEO of FRAC, and actually a pretty good guy. So basically, everyone was against it. There's Double B out there. Hey, what's up? But yeah, it's one of those things where everyone's against it. But since NSSF gave the stance that they gave, they're like, the gun world is split on red flag laws. No, we're not. One group out of the other 20 I talked to. One group.
Well, they reverted their opinion, but yeah.
They reverted their opinion. I went through all the biggest gun groups, all the way down to like the little gun groups. I mean, I couldn't hit the ones, I didn't hit like state groups, but all national groups that have more than 10 people working for them, I hit. And every single one of them.
Well, what is it? There's the Arizona Citizens Defense League, right?
No, I didn't reach out to state groups, I just said. But yeah, CDL, they're going to be against it. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Virginia CDL, I'm sure, is against it.
Yeah,
because we had that case here in Florida. So this is post Parkland, and 5 weeks later, they passed this BS bill that includes everything up to including polished triggers. Written
by a guy that the NRA is endorsing for agricultural commissioner.
That's who wrote that? That's
Stinson. Yeah.
And so I got to vote for him instead of Nikki Fried. What a effing. So, Mr. Big Kid, in Florida, you get your carry permit from the Department of Agriculture.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So why is that under their jurisdiction?
I've heard two things. The thing that seems to be the most true is they wanted it not to be a political position, but it is. Yep. And the other thing I heard is that the Department of Agriculture needed the money, the revenue from the permits.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm trying to think if that's a benefit over being, because typically Justice Department or just
state police usually in most
state police. I mean, DPS is for Arizona, AZDPS.
State police is in most states. Then it's usually DPS or something else like that.
Yeah,
it's usually not agricultural commission in Florida, which is
I mean, I'm trying to feel like I kind of think it's kind of nice that it's something other than the police decide if you get to carry or not. I don't know why. I guess agriculture just doesn't really make sense, though.
But Nikki Fried is, a Democrat operative. She's a troll. She's looking to F with our rights, and when she could, she did. That's the unfortunate story of it.
Yeah.
But the whole Parkland thing, so Rubio and who's the other guy? Why can't I think of his name? Our senators, the other senator is the former governor of Florida, and they're
Charlie Crist.
No, oh God, not that piece of trash.
Oh, no, Charlie Crist.
Charlie Crist was a Republican governor of Florida and effed it all up. And then he became a independent, and now he's a Democrat. And he's trying to run again for governor as a Democrat.
Rick Scott.
Rick Scott, yeah, thank you. Trevor Hand Got the right answer.
Oh, wow. Trevor Hand and One Car Fast both came out with it.
So yeah, Rick Scott and Rubio both are talking about the positive aspects of red flag laws. And I'm like, you've never been on the bad end. John remembers the name of the guy. There was some guy who.
We actually helped them because the pressure that we put on them because we flooded their phone calls and the regular media was picking up with it. There's a guy named John Carpenter who somebody named John Carpenter was living with these ladies. And this John Carpenter was a drug dealer or a Nazi, and I found him. So he was a Nazi. It took me like 5 minutes to find the real guy, but all the police did was like, let's see if any John Carpenters have
punched in John Carpenter, found somebody with a CCW permit with the name of John Carpenter,
and they red
went
flagged
and
him.
took his guns.
They red flagged him, and he wasn't even the guy. And I was like, talking to the cops, I'm like, dude, why don't you just go by, show a picture of this guy? Because I got the real guy's Facebook, and they're two different guys. So eventually, we got.
You mean they didn't look like twins? Is what?
No,
you're
the dude had
John.
a big freaking swastika on his chest. So they went up there and they showed him, is this the guy? And the lady's like, no. Then they showed her the picture of the one that I sent them. She was like, that's the guy. And then they were like, whoops.
Quick shout out to my old buddy Gorillas and Guns out there.
Hey,
Haven't chatted with him
Scott.
in a while.
I should do a podcast with Gorillas and Guns, and Scott lives close to me. Not close, he lives like an hour and a half away, but
Virginia, right?
yeah, I live in Northern Virginia. I know. And he lives in the Richmond area.
Gotcha.
I live in the enclave of liberals.
I don't know if people got the joke here. You remember
Jeb Bush?
Jeb, lowercase Jeb.
Jeb. Yeah, Jeb. Low energy Jeb.
Applaud now.
Yeah. All right, guys, we gotta let Mr. Big Kid get out of here. He has to go get balloons because he is going to make balloon animals tonight.
Yeah, and that's
his new channel. It's called Mr. Big Kid Balloon
ripping
Animals.
helium out of the hands of scientists to use as party favors.
Very interesting fact that you gave me there, though. That was kind of interesting.
About helium?
Helium's a limited resource, and I had no idea.
It's very limited. Yeah. There's only one helium mine in the world, and it's in Texas. And it's when you buy helium, it's subsidized. So you know those helium tanks you buy at like Costco and Sam's Club? If you were to buy it without the government subsidy, you'd be paying over $100 for it.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but the government subsidizes it. So,
but helium, because it's a finite resource and it only occurred when the planet formed, should not be used for party balloons. So you're making a scientist cry every time you fill up a balloon.
You know, they use an MRI. Someone's not going to get an MRI because you missed a big kid.
Because of my son, and those balloons are going to fly high and proud, and then in about a day and a half they'll be sagging on the floor because the helium has lost its power
forever.
So we should ban the Macy's Day Parade. Is that?
Absolutely.
I think they should just use hydrogen.
Yes, yeah, that's replenishable and
many
fun.
Hindenburgs coming.
Propane is much more lighter than air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got propane tanks.
Yeah, gas
I'll
form.
fill those up that way.
You know what? In propane, they add something to
acetylene. Acetylene is a lot of fun.
No, I like propane because propane is flammable, and if you don't add the
acetylene isn't flammable.
No, but propane, if they add a scent to it so you can smell it. But propane is odorless,
colorless,
and flammable. So imagine some guy, watching the Macy Davis Parade, and there's like a leak, and they didn't add the stuff, and he lights up a cigarette.
Boom.
So
I would watch that, man. That'd be awesome. Natural gas. There's another one. We can do natural gas, helium, and propane and acetylene.
So acetylene in a balloon. Here's what you do. Here's the party trick. Is DLD out there because he should know this one? You fill a party balloon with acetylene, and then you tie toilet paper. Use that as the fuse, because when it lights off, it blows up like an M80.
and then you just let it all go. It's a Macy's Day Parade balloon size. All right, we gotta let them get out of here. So thank you so much. You can find me at John Crump News. I got a video coming out tomorrow that's gonna go over what's in the bill that hasn't been published yet. I might actually release it tonight just to piss people off, but I don't know yet. No, I can't do that. I'm just joking. I don't know what's in the bill. But yeah, you can follow Rich on MySpace at Flying Rich, and that's not a joke. Flying
You can
Rich
be my
on
second follower.
YouTube, or Flying Rich _official on Instagram. You can also find me on Instagram at Real John Crump. If you want to support Rich, you can always go to his
OnlyFans.
locals at
that's true. Yeah,
flyingrich.locals.com
locals.
or johncrump.locals.com to support me. I just put a link in the description with the Amazon wish list. All the toys bought right there will go to
Cool.
Ronald McDonald House. We're doing this in honor of my niece Bella. Ronald McDonald help their family out so much. So we're collecting toys for Ronald McDonald House, and we're going to deliver them in memory of Bella. So if you want to buy something, go right ahead. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Bighead. Mr. Bighead, tell people where they can find you and give us words of wisdom.
Oh, words of wisdom. That's a
Dude,
tough
you
one.
got to give words of wisdom.
Yeah. Well, let me circle back to you on that. All right. Let me. So, you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Mr. Big Kid, all one word, not spelled out, Mr. Big Kid. Instagram, Mr. Big Kid Media. Facebook, also Mr. Big Kid Media. And I guess all those other smaller platforms. I try to make an account on there too when I can, but mainly YouTube is the biggest thing. So.